Hi, this is Professor Hearn, SLE 405. I'm going to show you how to connect up the solar panels for the option 1 modified to be option 2. You'll be taking these home to do them, and so I will do a short video here to show how you will put them together at home. Okay? So first we have two wires and two connectors. This connector is a male connector and this is a female connector, or vice versa. This is what it looks like after it's been installed onto the panel. The panels don't come with this, and we need this to connect all the panels together. The red is for plus, the black is for minus, and we have 7 panels. One of them has already gone out to be built. There are 6 remaining. Right now what I will do is I'm going to take a 3-foot piece of wire that I've cut from this loop, and this is a minus because it's black. I'm going to take these 4 pieces and I'm going to assemble them into one connection over at the other station. We have station number 2, solder station. Okay. I'm going to use this cutter to strip it, and I'll show you how, and then I'll use this to hold the connector together. Okay. This is a ring terminal, and I will show you where it is, where these pieces are on this halfway finished panel. I'll just take them out so you can see what the finished connection looks like. Right. This is what we'll end with.
Where is that stuff?
This is where the terminal is, right there. This one hasn't been tightened down. Let me get the terminal. I'll hold it right next to it. This is the terminal, and this is where it goes on the end of the wire. The other end of the wire has a connector on it. In this case, it's the plus connector. They're marked. And we put a bolt in here and a couple of nuts, but I'll show you how to do that later. Right now we're just going to make up one of the wires. We're going to make up a wire like this one, only it's the black one to go on the other end of this so we can finish this panel. Okay. Alright. So now I'm taking this tool, I'm taking these pieces that I showed you. This is the pin that goes inside of this connector. I will show you how it goes together, but these are the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the wire. Okay. So I'll take these 2 tools.
What are they
A
called?
crimper and a wire cutter stripper. Crimper and a wire cutter stripper.
Okay.
Here to this station. Put the tools here. Put the wire here, and these pieces right here. I don't need this right now. We'll just use this solder. This is solder, and this is a soldering iron. Okay. So the first thing we'll do is take the wire, black wire, and strip 1/4 of an inch off. Now these strippers have numbers on them. It says 18 to 10, 20 to 12. We're going to pick the one that says 10 and 12 on opposite sides. It says 10 on one side, 12 on the other. This is number 10 wire. So we're just going to strip 1/4 of an inch off. So you go down on the stripper just 1/4 of an inch. If you look on the back side, you can see how I'm holding it. On the front side, you can see it's about 1/4 of an inch of insulation. And then, as if we were cutting the wire off, like with the scissors, we just push and then turn, 1/2 a turn, push again, turn back, 1/2 a turn, push again, and then pull. And here's the insulation that we just took off, right there. And here's the stripped wire with 1/4 of an inch of insulation missing. Okay. That we do is we pick up the terminal that I showed you before. That's the terminal. And we put this wire, I'll show you more clearly here in a second. Okay, we're going to put this wire in the terminal first, and then we're going to crimp it a little bit with the ends of this tool, just to hold it, like that, so it stays there. And then this one is to crimp it a little bit more, a little bit tighter. But you don't have to really do the second one. We just do it to make it a little more secure to work with. Okay, you see now it's on the end of the terminal. The terminal's on the end of the wire, but it's not soldered yet. And we solder it because we want to make sure that when this is out in the weather, it's always going to stay connected. Crimping it is good mechanically, but not always good electrically. Okay, so now I'm going to put the wire around here where I can reach it, and you can see it, something like that. And take this tool out of the way and put it over here because we don't need it. Take this one.
Where's your mask? You were then
We're recording. We're recording. Okay, thank you. All right, so now we'll heat the soldering iron up until it begins to smoke. And we need a lot of heat for this terminal because this is really, if it's hot yet. Yes, see how it's smoking? We want it to be smoking. And so then come down here, and first you want to get the terminal hot. You don't want to put it any place except on the terminal. And then you just put a little bit of solder in it so it just runs into the wire. That's the key. You hold the solder iron on the terminal, and then you just let the solder run like butter, like melted butter, into the joint. Then you blow on it if you want to, or just wait. And then we check it to make sure that it's tight with the pliers. There, see? It doesn't come off. And that's that end of it. Now we have another end of it that we need to connect at the same time. And that's this little puppy here. This pin goes on this wire, and then the
That
pin,
is a male nut or female nut?
well, this is a male terminal, but when you plug it in, it goes down inside of here because this is in here. So they technically call this a male. No, but they call this a female. But the way you can distinguish it is that it has a minus, a negative on the. You probably can't see it with the camera, but there's a minus on it, and that's why we're using black wire, and it's the negative side of the panel. It goes on the black wire. So technically, they call this one the female, I believe, but it's got a male part inside. So anyway. Now, we do the same thing with this wire as we did with the last wire. First, we just go down to where it says 10 on the left side, take about 1/4 of an inch, and we just clip, and then turn it half a turn, clip, turn it half a turn back, clip, and then
So
pull.
it's clipped 3 times.
Well, I just do it to make sure 3 times, yes, 3 times.
Okay.
And here is the piece that we just took off, and here is the 1/4 of an inch missing of insulation. Okay, so put that down here. We don't need the old insulation anymore.
This is on a different wire, or is the same wire?
Here's the
oh,
other.
this is the one
this
end.
This is the one we did, and this is the connection end.
Okay.
Okay, so now we want to make sure we get everything on before we put it together, which means we put this on the wire first. This is a little grommet, and we put it with the smaller end towards the terminal that we already put on. See, okay? So put it on that way. That's the first thing. Second thing that goes on there is, no, I said it wrong. Excuse me. The first thing that goes on is this little piece that will screw onto here. See, it screws on like that. We have to put that on the wire first, because it is going to push down on this grommet. So first it's that piece, then it's this piece, and that's going to go in here like this. And then we screw it all together. But before we do that, we have to put this piece on the end, which is why we just...
Let me take a video of this way, that students can see from your hand.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So now we will have these three pieces that will go together, but we have to put this on the end first because this is what will make contact. So I'm just going to let this slide down for a minute. I didn't mean to drop it.
I record.
Okay, now I'm going to try to squeeze this first down, and then squeeze this down. You'll notice there's a little bridge shape here and a little bridge shape here. That's what it's for. It's for crimping this tighter. So see how I'm crimping it tighter and tighter and tighter like that. So now it's mechanically sound, but we haven't soldered it yet, and I can't have it on my head. I'm going to have to move. Okay. So now we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll just solder it. I'm trying to put it here somewhere where I can get it hot. Okay. We're going to heat it up like we heated it up before until it smokes. And we're just about done. Take another 5 minutes. 3 minutes here probably. Alright, so now it should be getting hot now after about 20 seconds. I put a little bit of solder on there and see if it smokes. It smokes. See that? I just touch a little bit of solder on there, not much. Okay, now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to heat up this whole body of metal. I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm going to get an angle here. Okay.
Drop a little butter there.
Yeah, we don't want to put any solder on it until it gets hot.
Ah.
So the idea is to get the body hot, and then we want the solder to flow like butter into the wire and the terminal, so they both get joined together in one piece. Okay, so now you probably can't see it where you are, but the solder is flowing into it. See? I'll let you see it there now. Can you see that the wire is the same color as the solder? I'll do it a little bit more here from the side so you can see it. I'll get it hot again. You ready? I'm going to put a little solder in here. It's not hot enough yet. Okay, there now. See how the solder is disappearing into the joint? Like that. So then you can blow on it if you want to, or you can just let it naturally finish. If the piece is on before you solder this, they will slide over this piece, so it's not the end of the process. You don't have to do it over again. Okay, so this should be able to touch it now. Yeah, you can touch it now. Okay, and now this piece fits down inside of here, or not inside of there, inside of here. This end, it fits in the threaded end. So this has a threaded end, and then it has a hole in the other end with two little connections. See
Where's the two little connections?
These are the two little connections that made up with the other connector. There's a hole in the middle and two little connections that snap here and snap here. I'll show you that in a minute after we get this one together. Okay, now, again, it goes on the threaded end. You just put it in here like this, and it'll bottom out. It'll just stop. You just push it, and then this is what's going to hold it in there. See, this little grommet kind of squeezes itself down in there, and then we get this threaded piece here, put it on top of it, and we just turn it until it gets tight. And that's it. So now we have a terminal and we have a plug.
Okay.
I'll go over here and plug it in so you can see how they snap together. Okay, we'll go over here. And this is another panel. This is it looks like a male, but it's a female because it goes on the inside. But they two snap together.
Ah, so you are building this to connect this panel
To this panel.
with the panel on the right.
Yes.
Uh,
And here's where it will connect. We'll do that now, but we'll stop the video recording for a minute, but we're going to connect it up to this one. This one's already connected, and I showed you how it's connected in here. And then we'll finish by doing
So that side, that end is negative or positive?
positive,
That positive, and this end is...
negative.
So, okay, positive of one panel to the negative of another panel.
Right.
Then that is series.
That's right.
Okay,
Series.
series. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have to build those things? Cannot when they sell this, it's not like in package already?
I was about to tell you that we'll show you one. We have a 300 watt panel that has the connections already on it, but these panels are from the farm, and when you work in the field, you use whatever it is that you need to use. These panels were sitting in storage for probably 20 or 30 years. They were pretty nice at the time they were new, but now they've become outdated. We can still use them because each panel is 100 watts, and we can put them all in series to get the voltage up to 6 times 7, which is set 42, to be able to charge the battery. So we're having to put these on because at the time they didn't have this standard. Now all the new panels have this standard, so we have to update the panels before we use them so they're easy to connect and easy to remove if somebody needs to put another one in the system.
What do you call this on the panel, on the end of the panel?
Box.
This is a junction box?
Yes.
That is also junction box?
Yes.
Are these two junction boxes exactly the same?
Yes, they are.
Okay, and this is the negative wire.
Yes.
That is a positive wire.
Yes.
So what is the Paul's job? What is he doing?
Okay, Paul is doing what we just did.
To make a wire.
He's making a wire. And
Connector.
He's also making the red one. He's making the red one and the black one and outfitting one panel, which is what the rest of you will also do if you're doing this option.
And after this, what are they going to do? Are they going to put these panels on the top of the tractor?
No, they won't go on the tractor. They go on the roof of the organic farm building.
Oh,
In the back of the organic farm building, there's what you call a lean-to. In other words, it has an extension of the roof that isn't totally enclosed down below. It's open to the weather below, but it has a roof above, kind of like a patio. Patios are like that. So when we're done with this, the next stage will be to assemble the rails. They're called rails. There's 2 of them. And they have fittings that will clamp onto these solar panels, and they also have screws that will go down into the wood of the roof. And they have seals that will seal against the metal roof so that it won't leak. But today we're doing one part, and that is we're arranging so we'll be able to connect the rest of these panels all in series, including the one that Paul has. Paul is doing the same thing that we're doing here. Now I'm going to finish the connection to this. Now, if you're ready, I'm going to take it back loose from there. And I'm going to make the connection like this connection is. I'm just going to do it down there. Now, I want to tell you something. You'll notice that there's a threaded hole down there, just like there is here. And that there are 2 strips coming into each box. There's a strip there and a strip there, and they come out here. See, there's a strip here and there's a strip here. And this is one bus right here. It goes all the way across. The way these panels are working is there's 12 cells in 3 lines. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cells. These cells are in series. This end of this one is connected to the beginning of this one. The plus to the minus, the plus to the minus, the plus to the minus. So you end up having a plus here on this end because this one is plus. And these cells are half a volt each, 0.5 volts each. So if you have 12 of them, how many volts would you have if they were in series? Right, that would be 6 volts. So each of these strings, as they call them, is 6 volts. And because of this bus that is tying all 3 of the strings together, they're in parallel. There's 6 volts here, 6 volts here, and 6 volts here. Why do you do that? Okay, the current that each one of these cells can produce is 5 amps. So if they're in series and they're 5 amps, what is the current going to be for that part of the circuit?
5.
It's going to be 5 amps. That's correct, because they're all in series. But the voltage is going to go from 1/2 all the way up to 6 because there's 12 pieces.
6 volt.
Yes. So we have 3 strings at 6 volts, but each string is 5 amps. So how many amps is the panel going to produce?
Each one is 5 amps, right? It's 15 amps.
That's right.
Because they are in parallel.
That's correct. So we have a panel that has 3 lines of 5 amps. That's 15 amps here, and here we will also be getting 6 volts. So what's 6 times 15?
90
96.
volts. No, say it again.
6 times 15
Yeah, 90.
is 96.
6 multiply 15 is 90.
And these panels, if you look here, are rated at 95 watts. So that's very close to 96.
I know, but 15 multiply 6 is 90.
Okay, so now 6 times 15 is 96. 6 times 10 is 6. Where did we leave off?
You are talking about it's already been recording right now.
Okay. So, as we mentioned, there's 3 lines of 5 amps. It's around 15 amps. It's actually more than 15 amps. And there are 12 cells in series, and each of them is a 1/2 volt approximately, so that's about 6 volts. But when you're in full sunshine, it's more than 6 volts, and it can vary. These solar panels, they're varying with the sun all the time, unless it's just full sunshine, bright day. But even in the morning, it's different than it is at night and everything else. But it has a rated wattage of 95 watts.
Okay.
All right. So now, the reason we got into all that is because there's 2 strips coming into this box. And people would think that one is plus and one is minus, but if you look outside the box, both of these 2 strips come to one strip here, one bus bar, because all 3 of these strings are in parallel.
So this side is both of them are in negative.
That's right. This whole thing is negative.
That side, this whole thing is positive.
The whole thing is positive, which is also unusual for a solar panel. Normally you would just have one box, 2 wires coming out of it, and it would be in one place. But these are, they're nice. They were nice at the time. They were the cat's meow at the time. This type, they're semi-flexible. You can see that the panels are semi-flexible. They move. So we had to get a special kind of mounting for them. So anyway, we're gonna use them because that's what we have to work with, and so I'm going to go ahead now and put the connection in this box so you know how to do it after you've built this wire. Then your job at home will be to also connect this like this into the box. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. First, like this.
So you get a screw.
And then I need 1 nut. I need actually 2 nuts. 32
So
nuts.
1 screw, 2 nuts.
Right, and then also a washer. And the washer keeps it tight. That's probably one of the most important parts, is this washer. That keeps it tight. Okay. So
Did you give this to Paul?
Yes.
So if students come to get things, to take it home, they're going to get those washer, 2 screws, no, 1 screw and 2 nuts.
One washer, 1 screw, and 2 nuts, yes.
And then also they're going to take the wire home.
They're going to take, here's a piece of wire.
Yes, they're going to take a terminal home.
And here's the terminals right here.
Okay, those are 4 pieces. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, now first, I'm just going to put this in here because it's already threaded. There's a little brass stud down in there, and all I have to do is turn it with my finger until it stops. Okay. Okay, it's pretty much stopped now. And then I will put a nut on it. One of these 1032. They're called 1032. Like that, down until it stops. And then I'll just use a wrench over here. This is a crescent wrench, which I didn't give Paul because he has one. I'm just going to tighten it down a little bit so that it's good and solid, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take these strips, very gently put them on here. I don't want to put them in a bind. I just want to get them as easily onto this stud as I can, like that. You don't worry about how they look, just let them hang where they'll hang the most easily so we don't put them in any kind of strain. They're copper. Okay.
A washer?
Then we're going to put this washer on, and the thing about this washer is that it has little barbs on it. It has little tiny barbs on it. And do you know what the barbs would be for?
Fasten it.
To make it bite into these two strips, the top one, and also to bite into the bolt at the same time, the nut at the same time, so it doesn't move. Once it's tightened down, it's called a lock washer for that reason. Okay, so now I put the second nut on, and I'm going to spin it down on top of the washer. Well, I shouldn't do that yet. Let's make one more step. Begging your pardon. We got to put, the reason that we have this is so we can connect to the next solar panel, next solar module. So we're going to put it in here, but before we connect it up like this, we need a piece of insulation right here. So I'm going to get the insulation. When inside of here, we have extra ones, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to put it on here. See, how did I put it on the other one? Might as well put it this way because I think it works better. Okay, we're going to put it on here because we want some insulation right here. Now, I also want to clean this out a little bit. These are old. There. Alright, so now I'm just going to put this down in here like that. See how nicely it fits right in there? Almost as if it was designed for it to insulate from weather. It seals the box from the weather. And we just pull the wire over here, maybe bend it a little bit like that. Bend it a little bit so it'll fit
in the screw?
Right on top of the screw.
Before the washer?
Before the washer. The washer is underneath of this terminal, and this nut...
Oh, you mean the washer is underneath or on the top?
It should be on the top. You're correct. It should be on the top. It should be the thing that bites into the terminal and bites into the nut there. Now, see, the washer's on the top.
Terminal and the washer and then the nuts.
Yes. So then, start the nut on it. Some kind of a wrench. And you want to tighten it just down to where it's not going to move. If you tighten it too much, this is a plastic box and it doesn't have that. That doesn't have a lot of strength. Just till it kind of stops. I'd say 4 or 5 turns, like that. So see, this is not moving. That's the main thing. You just don't want this wire to move. See how everything is solid? Mm-hmm. But again, you don't want to tighten it too tight either, because if you tighten it too tight, it can break out down here. Mm-hmm. So just enough to where the wire won't move. It's not moving. Okay. So now, to finish it off, we'll just put a cover on it. And we'll get another cover here, and you will get in your little kit of parts, you'll get the 3 screws that thread into here, here, and here. And they'll... Okay, just back out of the way again. Now, which way does it go? There's indentations on the side that it goes to because the screws are angled, so they end up being flat like that. Can you see that? See, the edge of the screw has an angle on it, and then this plastic has an angle on it also, so when it ends, everything is smooth. There. Start a screw in each one, and start a screw in this one. Excuse me, a little bit. But it's better than using an electric screwdriver because it could break something. Okay, so see, it's insulated from the weather.
So the insulated here
Yes.
with the, what do you call this stuff?
Grommets, with a grommet.
Uh-huh. So the inside is those two of this connected together in that little bar. And then a washer and then a nut seal it.
Well, these are screws.
Yeah. I mean inside.
Oh, inside, yeah, you can see this one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
I'm just to summarize it.
Yes, very good. I'm going to tighten this one down because it isn't tightened yet. And
And inside there is you can see there is two strips already. Put it on this, what do you call this stuff?
bolt.
Bolt. Because this two is going out connected here on this bus. This is the positive, right? Then you need to put this, what do you call this?
Grommet.
Yeah, you go from there, go here. The reason because you want to seal it here. So with the sealed is protected from the weather. Then you put this terminal you already built.
You're going to have to go around in a loop.
How do you do it? Like this?
No, you have to go around
just
in a
put
loop.
it there.
No. No. Put it around in a loop.
Okay, like that. That.
Mm-hmm.
Then like that.
No, all the way around in a loop, like this.
Oh, you put a loop inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you put it there.
Yeah.
Then you put a washer.
Oh.
This is
Yeah.
a washer. Does it have a upside down or
No,
any
it's the
which
same.
one down?
It's the
Doesn't
same
matter.
either way.
Same.
Yeah.
Put a washer on top.
Mm-hmm.
Then where's your nuts?
They're in the bag, in the smaller bag. The second, no, the second bag. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Then you put a nuts. Any nuts, right?
Yep.
And then you just, okay, you seal it.
Start it.
Yeah, I know how to do it. Okay, then you this what do you call this?
A wrench.
And then you do it. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. You gotta first get it adjusted to about the right size. You didn't put the loop in there. Put that back in there like that. Okay. Turn it and turn it and turn it. Turn it. Turn it.
This is the positive side, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not tight yet. You have to get it tight, not say okay when we're not done. Because you didn't tighten it down enough with your fingers. That's why we have to do it a lot with a wrench. You do it with your fingers all the way down, then you get it to where the
Okay.
wire doesn't move. Now, that's what we said on the last one. You're going to make sure, try to move the wire, not that wire,
Yeah.
not that part, near the terminal.
is
See,
not-
yeah, there.
not
Now the wire
moving.
moves, but the terminal doesn't. Okay, now there's a lid that you put on, a cap, and the cap is right here. Here you are. Other way.
No,
No,
two
that's the
on
right
this
way.
side.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
One on that side. You need to take that out first.
Okay.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put this inside. Then you put this one in.
Well, you can start it with a screwdriver.
Then you put this one
Here's
in.
the screwdriver.
Okay. Like that. Aya, aya, aya. Gosh, I never play with this. Aya, aya. Okay.
Very good.
Now this is the positive
Yep.
and this is the negative.
Yep.
So you just
Nope,
boom,
you don't.
no?
You're shorting it out if you do that.
Okay, you do it.
No, it's okay. You can do it. You connect it to the other one.
Oh, oh yeah.
the point,
Okay. Positive definitely cannot connect it with its own negative. Okay, you need to connect it with the other negative. Like that. That's it?
that's right.
Where you do this one with this one too?
No, because then it'll be shorted.
Oh yeah.
It goes to this one.
So this one is connected with another
Yeah, with the,
negative.
here, this one, this negative here will connect with this positive.
With this positive.
Oh, here's the positive down here. We don't have it. It'll have to be turned around
Okay.
like this
And with this positive.
when we put it, and that'll be somebody else's job.
What about this one? This positive.
That will be
connect
going out to the tractor.
where? Okay. Okay.
And the last one down here on the end, this negative down here, right here, this one will be going to the other part of the tractor. You'll have to have one plus and one minus going to the tractor.
Okay.
This is where the other
very
one goes.
beginning is a positive
Yep,
in
yep,
from the tractor.
yep,
That one all the way is a negative out
right,
to somewhere.
to the tractor.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have for the next student who comes in is we have 4 more panels. So we have 4 more panels for 4 more students. We've got 2 that are done now, and Paul is working on a 3rd one today. So we'll see you in the next video, and good luck.